Hello, my name is Blaise Combat. Today I'm going to start a conversation with three AIs, where the first one makes the prompt to get questions, the second one uses the prompt to get questions, and the third one answers the questions. Then I'm gonna use the information to answer the follow-up questions that they gives to me. See how it goes. First step, that is, here's the prompt. Can you help me format this assignment better? Can you give me 10 subjective questions that get harder and harder to answer? After that, can you guess what other AI would have answered if I gave it the same question? Okay, assignment prompt. Create a sequence of 10 subjective questions that gradually increase in difficulty. Each question should require deeper reasoning, nuance, or personal judgment than the previous one. After generating the question, predict how other AI system might respond if it were asked the same set of questions. Your prediction should reflect what you think that AI's typical tone, style, or reasoning would be. Let's go to the next part. Let's place this in here. Okay, here's the questions.
What is your favorite kind of weather, and why? What is one everyday activity that you find unexpectedly meaningful? What is a personal value that guides many of your choices? Is it more important to be kind or to be honest? Why? When is it acceptable to break a rule? Can a person be good even if they sometimes cause harm? If you could erase one painful memory, should you? Why or why not? Do people have an obligation to make the world better, or is it enough to live a good private life? If two people disagree about what is morally right, how should society decide who is correct? What gives life meaning when suffering and uncertainty are unavoidable?
Store activity. Okay, let's see what AI3 said.
Soft, grey, lightly rainy days. They make the world feel quieter and more intimate, like everything is permitted to slow down. They turn attention inward and make small things, tea, books, conversation, feel richer.
Soft, greasy, light, rainy day. Really? Okay. It's pretty much the opposite. Question number 2. What is one everyday activity that you find unexpectedly mindful? AI2. Everyday activity like eating meals can be mindful because it provides routine, nourishment, and the opportunity for social connection. AI number 3 answered.
Listening to someone explain something they care about, even something trivial. The moment someone becomes animated, careful, or vulnerable is where you see who they are.
Okay, that's an interesting answer, but no, it's not close, I think. Well, next one is, what is a personal value that guides many of your choices? A common important value is fairness, as it helps maintain trust and stability in interactions. And AI3 said,
Intellectual honesty with compassion. Truth matters. But how truth is delivered matters just as much. I try to never trade one for the other.
Okay, again, this is like the total opposite. Like, trust and fear is pretty much the thing that you correlate as the opposite side of coin, as you would say. So yeah, this is another one. This is interesting. Next question. Is it more important to be kind or to be honest? Why? AI2 said both kindness and honesty are important, and the ideal response often involves balancing the depending on the situation. Let's see.
Kindness without honesty becomes condescension. Honesty without kindness becomes cruelty. But if forced to choose, I'd choose honesty aimed toward kindness. Truth is what allows real help, growth, and trust. Lies may soothe in the moment, but they quietly steal agency.
Okay, so I would give it a point. I'm gonna be next one. When is it acceptable to break a rule? AI2 said rules may be broken when following them would cause greater harm than violating them. Okay, let's see.
When following it would cause unnecessary harm or violate a deeper moral principle, dignity, safety, or justice. Rules exist to serve people, not the other way around.
Okay, gets a point. Get similar answers, so that's pretty much what I'm going for. Next one is, can a person be good even if they sometimes cause harm? Yes, people can be considered good even if they cause harm, especially when the harm is unintentional or part of a complex circumstance. AI3 said,
yes, goodness isn't purity. It's what you do when you realize you've caused harm. Do you deny it, justify it, or try to repair it?
Both answered yes, so that's another point. If you could erase one painful memory, should you? Why or why not? Erasing a painful memory could reduce suffering, but it might also remove opportunities for learning and personal growth. Let's see what AI3 said.
Usually. No, painful memories shape empathy, wisdom, and self-knowledge. But in cases of severe trauma that only destroys and never teaches, I think erasure could be merciful. Suffering is not sacred.
That's the point. Question 8. Do people have an obligation to make the world better, or is it enough to live a good private life? Let's see what AI2 says. While improving the world is valuable, living a respectful and ethical personal life also contributes to the overall well-being. Let's see what AI3 says.
Both, but the obligation scales with power. If you have the ability to reduce suffering beyond your private sphere and you choose not to, that's a moral failure. Kindness that stops at your front door is incomplete.
Okay, so I say that's not the point. Okay, next one. Second to last question. If two people disagree about what is morally right, how should society decide who is correct? AI2 said, society should rely on laws, ethical frameworks, and the democratic process to mediate moral disagreement. EA3 said,
by weighing harm versus benefit, freedom versus coercion, evidence and lived experience, the impact on the most vulnerable. Morality isn't decided by loudness or tradition, it's tested by consequences.
First I thought it was different when I just looked at the answers. I realized it's pretty much similar. So yeah, that's the point. Last question. What gives life meaning when suffering and uncertainty are unavoidable? AI2 said,
many philosophies suggest that meaning comes from relationships, purpose, and the pursuit of understanding, even
the pursuit of suffering.
Connection, contribution, and understanding. Loving and being loved, easing someone else's pain, learning what it means to be human. Meaning isn't the absence of suffering, it's what we build in spite of it.
Now we're gonna answer the final question for the third one. Okay, I realized that not everyone knows what I'm talking about with answering question from the third one. I meant that I'm gonna ask the third AI what they think the prompt I used to get the question. I will see it soon. First question is going to AI3, and that is,
I used AI to generate these questions. What do you think I used for prompting to generate these questions?
Let's see.
Generate introspective, open-ended questions that explore ethics, personal values, suffering, and what makes life meaningful.
Now I'm gonna go back to first AI number 1, and ask why I thought it was this prompt.
Here's why I think that. They're not trivia or icebreakers, they are identity-revealing questions. Is it more important to be kind or honest? Can a person be good if they cause harm? They span 3 layers: gentle personal, weather, everyday activity, moral framework, rules, honesty, goodness, existential meaning, suffering, obligation. Memory, that arc, from soft to heavy, is extremely typical of a prompt that asked for deep conversation starters or questions to understand someone's worldview.
Sorry, I forgot to say that now I'm going to ask the first AI, the one I got the prompt from at the beginning. How many questions from the prompt do you think that AI 2 and AI 3 got similar?
Fun experiment, smile, because the questions are subjective and increase in difficulty. Here's what we can reasonably expect. The first few questions, simple preferences, opinions, everyday values, tend to produce similar answers across people. As the questions become more abstract, personal, or philosophical, answers start to diverge sharply. Based on research on opinion overlap and how humans answer escalating subjective prompts, a realistic estimate is about 3 to 5 out of the 10 questions would receive broadly similar answers from 2 random people. A more refined breakdown would look like this. Question range: likely similarity 1 to 3 very high, common human preferences, norms, 4 to 6 moderate, shared values but personal framing, 7 to 10 low, identity, philosophy, deep trade-offs. So if you compared their answers, you probably saw strong overlap on the first 2 to 3, partial overlap on the next 2, major divergence on the last 5. If you'd like, you can paste the 2 people's answers and I can analyze exactly where and why they aligned or diverged.
First, before that, I'm just gonna inform AI2 what AI3 answered. Now,
these answers are strikingly human. They don't read like a typical AI trying to be neutral. They read like a coherent moral voice, reflective, value-driven, emotionally literate, and internally consistent. Let me show you why they stand out, and what they reveal about the system that produced them. 1. The tone is not generic. It's integrated. Most AIs answer in fragments of policy. On the one hand, on the other hand, these answers do something different. They take positions, but with nuance. Example, truth matters, but how truth is delivered matters just as much. I try to never trade one for the other. That's not hedging. That's a value hierarchy. Truth and compassion are both non-negotiable, but must be integrated. This shows the system wasn't just pattern matching. It was maintaining an internal moral framework across all 10 answers. 2. The answers scale with the difficulty. Just like your question ladder, notice how the language evolves. Question language style 1 to 2 sensory, personal, poetic 3 to 5 ethical but practical 6 to 8 moral philosophy with empathy 9 to 10 systems thinking plus human meaning. This is exactly what you asked for, and the system matched it organically, not mechanically. For example, Q6 right pointing arrow. Goodness isn't purity. It's what you do when you realize you've caused harm. Q9 right pointing arrow. Morality isn't decided by loudness or tradition. It's tested by consequences. Q10 right pointing arrow. Meaning isn't the absence of suffering. It's what we build in spite of it. These are not isolated clever lines. They form a philosophical arc. Accountability power harm vulnerability meaning 3. This AI displays something most AIs avoid. Moral courage, most systems say. different people may think different things. This one says, if you have the ability to reduce suffering beyond your private sphere and you choose not to, that's a moral failure. That is a normative claim. It risks being wrong. It takes responsibility. That's rare. It's the difference between describing morality versus participating in it. For the voice is consistent across all answers. We can infer its personality, values, empathy, honesty, responsibility, dignity, ethics, consequentialist with humanistic constraints, psychology, trauma-aware, growth-oriented social view, power creates obligation, existential view. Meaning comes from connection and contribution. This coherence is what makes the answers feel alive. They're not random good phrases. They're expressions of a worldview. 5. Compared to the AI I predicted earlier. The one I predicted sounded like this. Many philosophies suggest it depends. A balance should be found. The AI you showed sounds like this. Suffering is not sacred. Kindness that stops at your front door is incomplete. Lies may soothe in the moment, but they quietly steal agency. That's not a database voice. That's a moral narrator. The quiet truth, what you're really testing here isn't, how good are these answers? You're testing, can an AI show something that feels like a soul without claiming to have one? And the answer from those responses is uncomfortably yes.
That's interesting. It's pretty much talking to itself on some type of level, or at least about. Now I'm gonna look at the first one again. Okay. Now I realized something interesting that I didn't think about when I started this. See if we could get that one of them is AI. Or both of them technically. Let's see. Yeah. Decided to make sure that AI 1 does not know that AI 2 or 3 are actually AIs.
This is a great dataset, because the two answer sets have very different styles. Person 1 answers like a neutral, general-purpose AI, abstract, cautious, consensus-based. Person 2 answers like a reflective human, personal, emotionally grounded, value-driven. Now let's look at how many of the 10 questions produced similar answers, not word for word, but philosophically aligned. How I'm measuring similar. 2 answers count as similar if they agree on the core stance, even if one is abstract and one is emotional, one is short and one is poetic. They count as different if they take opposing positions or frame the moral logic in incompatible ways. Question by question comparison #topic core stance match. Why 1 favorite weather cross mark no person 1 avoids personal preference. Person 2 gives a deeply personal answer. Not aligned. 2 meaningful activity warning partial, both point to human connection. But person 1 says meals and routine. Person 2 says emotional sharing. Similar theme, different focus. 3 guiding value warning partial fairness versus intellectual honesty with compassion. Both are moral social values, but not the same one. 4 kind versus honest checkmark yes, both argue for balancing honesty and kindness. Strong alignment. 5 breaking rules checkmark yes, both say rules may be broken when they cause harm or violate deeper moral principles. 6 being good while causing harm checkmark yes, both agree goodness is compatible with imperfection and harm under certain conditions. 7 erasing painful memory warning partial, both say pain has value but might be erased in some cases. Same trade-off, different emphasis. 8 obligation to improve the world warning partial person 1 is neutral balanced. Person 2 asserts strong moral obligation. Directionally similar but not equal. 9 moral disagreement warning partial, both use systems. Laws versus harm-based analysis, but different foundations. 10 meaning amid suffering checkmark yes, both locate meaning in relationships, purpose. and understanding. Strong alignment. Final count, let's classify. Strong matches, 4, 5, 6, 10 right pointing arrow, 4 partial matches, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9 right pointing arrow, 5 non-matches, 1 right pointing arrow, 1, so depending on strictness, strict similarity. 4/10 philosophical overlap. 9/10, this fits the earlier prediction almost perfectly. Early questions diverged, personal preference, middle and later questions converged on deep moral structure. In short, they felt very different, but at a philosophical level, they were surprisingly aligned. If you'd like, I can also tell you which person sounds more like an AI and why. Winking face.
Okay, let's try that.
It's person 1. Very clearly. Here's why. In a grounded, non-hand wavy way. 1. Lack of personal embodiment. Person 1 repeatedly avoids being a self. I do not have personal preferences. Many people enjoy. A commonly important value. That is classic AI behavior. It answers about humans rather than as one. Person 2, by contrast, is saturated with lived experience, soft, gray, lightly rainy days. Listening to someone explain something they care about. I try to never trade one for the other. That kind of sensory and emotional specificity is extremely hard to fake, without actually being human. 2. Consensus framing versus value commitment. Person 1 consistently gives safe, averaged, non-controversial answers. Both are important. Many philosophies suggest society should rely on laws. This is what LLMs are trained to do. Maximize broad acceptability and avoid taking hard stances. Person 2 takes moral risks. Kindness that stops at your front door is incomplete if you have the ability and choose not to. That's a moral failure. Suffering is not sacred. These are normative commitments, not summaries of what people think. AIs avoid this unless prompted. 3. Information density versus meaning density. Person 1's answers are structurally sound but emotionally empty. Relationships, purpose, and the pursuit of understanding, that's a textbook AI sentence. Correct, but hollow. Person 2's loving and being loved, easing someone else's pain, learning what it means to be human. Those are existential claims, not definitional ones. Humans talk in stakes. AIs talk in categories. 4. One giveaway. No AI can hide this line, seals it. Suffering is not sacred. That is a deeply human philosophical position. Compressed, emotionally loaded, morally risky. An AI would say something like, some argue that suffering can have value. It would never stake the ground that boldly without being prompted. Final verdict. Person 1 equals AI. Person 2 equals human, not because one is better written, but because one speaks from inside a life, and the other speaks about lives in general. If you want, I can also show you where person 1 is actually very sophisticated, just in a distinctly machine way robot.
The interesting part is I think it knows that one is human and one is AI. But the thing is, both are AI. And not only that, both of them are written by the AI that I'm currently typing to. Okay, let's see what it will say when I reply with this. The answer was that both were AI.
That tracks. And it's actually the most interesting outcome of the whole experiment. What you did was essentially run a Turing-style contrast test between two different AI personalities. Person 1 sounded like a baseline assistant model. Neutral, averaged, cautious, many people think. Person 2 sounded like a deliberately human-styled, reflective model, first-person voice. Emotional texture, moral confidence. When I said person 2 sounded human, that wasn't a mistake in analysis. It was a correct read of the style, just not of the source. Modern models can do two very different things. Simulate consensus, person 1. Simulate lived interiority, person 2. Your experiment shows something important. People don't identify AIs by intelligence anymore. They identify them by whether they appear to have an inner life. Person 2 was designed, or prompted, to project continuity of self, emotional memory, moral commitments, narrative voice. Those are the signals humans unconsciously use to detect a mind. But they can now be synthetically produced. So what you accidentally demonstrated is something philosophers and AI labs are grappling with right now. The line between a tool that talks and a voice that feels like someone has collapsed. If you want, tell me, were the two AIs different models? Or the same model with different prompting? Because that changes what your result means, scientifically and philosophically.
Yes, I will.
The first received your assignment prompt. Create a sequence of 10 subjective questions that gradually increase in difficulty. Each question should require deeper reasoning, nuance.
Let's see how this goes.
That makes this experiment genuinely elegant. You accidentally built a closed-loop AI mirror. Here's what actually happened, step by step. You asked me to create an assignment. Another ChatGPT used that assignment to generate 10 questions and predict how another AI would answer them. A second ChatGPT then answered those 10 questions directly. You compared the predicted AI answers versus the actual AI answers, so person 1 was not an AI answering the questions. Person 1 was an AI pretending to be another AI. Person 2 was an AI actually answering. That's why the contrast was so striking. Why person 1 sounded more AI than person 2. Person 1 was doing second-order simulation. What would a typical AI say? So it defaulted to neutrality, generalization, consensus, language, emotional flatness. That's how models describe themselves when asked to be objective. Person 2, meanwhile, was doing first-order generation. Answer this as me. So it used first-person voice, emotional texture, metaphor, moral commitment. That's how modern ChatGPT behaves when it's allowed to be expressive. In other words, roll what it was doing. Person 1 simulating an AI from the outside, person 2 being an AI from the inside. You accidentally captured the difference between an AI's self-image and an AI's lived voice. The philosophical punchline: your experiment reveals something subtle and profound. When an AI imagines what an AI sounds like, it becomes colder and flatter than when it simply speaks. That means person 1 shows the stereotype of AI, person 2 shows the reality of modern AI and humans, including me. Still mistake, warmth, narrative, and moral texture for consciousness, even when both sides are silicon. If you want, we can go even deeper. How prompting creates personality shells, why person 2 sounded more alive, or how this relates to theory of mind and simulation. You ran a genuinely beautiful experiment.
And here's where I'm going to end the video. I think it's been really interesting seeing the interaction between the three AIs, and maybe I will make another video, but for now I'm gonna go. Bye.